Hello and welcome to another edition of Steelers Depot Jeopardy, Episode 2. I am your host, Alex Kazora, in the Alex Trebek, Ken Jennings role. I forgot Aaron Rodgers once hosted Celebrity Jeopardy, so I feel like I am Aaron Rodgers. But have a great panel with us today for Episode 2. We have Troy Montgomery, David O, and Dave Bryan. Ross McCorkle doing the scorekeeping in the background for us, so we appreciate that. Troy, how you doing? Thanks for being here.
I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm the underdog today, but hoping I can come in and maybe make some noise.
Hey, don't count yourself out. We have David O, know him on Twitter as Subburger. He is here as well. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Hoping my boomer memory is working okay.
We'll see how trusted it can be. And of course, we have Dave Bryan of Steelers Depot as well. Dave, thanks for playing with us.
Hey, happy to be here. I'd like to shout out my wife and my dog.
There you go. All right, let's play Steelers Depot Jeopardy. The categories are history, which is Steelers history, colleges where Steelers went to school, potpourri, a random set of questions, and records. Those are Steelers records in team history. We'll have Final Jeopardy at the very end. So let's start off with the underdog. I'll let him have the control of the board first. Troy, go ahead.
Can I get records for 200, please?
Records for 200. This Steelers quarterback holds the team record for most touchdown passes in a game. Troy?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Correct. Big Ben with 6. All right, Troy, you maintain control of the board.
Can we do records for 400?
Records for 400. Steelers running back who holds the franchise record with 100 career touchdowns. David O?
I'm going with Franco.
Correct. Franco Harris. David O, the board is yours.
I will try history for 200.
History for 200. Who is the first Steeler to ever have his jersey retired? That's close. I think Dave Bryan was first. Dave, go ahead.
Who is Ernie Stautner? Alex?
Correct. Ernie Stautner, number 70, one of 3 to have his jersey number officially retired. David, just make sure you put your hand down after the question just so we can reset things. There you go. Thank you very much. Dave Bryan, the board is yours.
Alex, give me potpourri for 1,000.
Potpourri for 1,000. He's doing the Sean Connery thing, I think is what Dave has going on right now. Potpourri for 1,000. So a big question here. Following a 1981 stint with the team, this kicker swam back to Pittsburgh as a 1987 strike replacement player. So with the team in 81 and then came back in 87 during that shortened strike year. This is a tough one. This might be the toughest question on the board. Any guesses? You do lose points, but you can't go into negatives, so there is that slight consolation prize. No guesses? I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2. The answer, David Trout. David Trout. That's why I had the swam back to Pittsburgh. So with the team, kicked in 81, then kicked in 3 games in 1987. No answers there. Dave, the board is still yours.
Give me potpourri for 800, please.
He likes his potpourri. That is a player from this AFC team sued Chuck Noll after comments he made following a playoff game. David O.
Mel Blount.
I don't know. Maybe check the judges on this one. I'll give you another chance. This is a different AFC team, not Pittsburgh. Somebody else, a different
Raiders.
AFC team. Yeah, and we're looking for the AFC team as well. So yes, that's correct. The Oakland Raiders. That was George Atkinson suing Chuck Noll and did not win that lawsuit. So I'll give you the points on that one. David O, the board is yours.
I'll try colleges for 200.
A very popular topic in our first episode. Colleges for 200 with a mascot reflective of his nickname. Joe Green hailed from this program. Troy?
North Texas.
Correct. North Texas. Troy, the board is yours.
Can we do colleges for 400?
Colleges for 400, making up half of a dynamic Steelers wide receiver duo. Lynn Swann attended this West Coast school. Troy?
USC.
Correct. The Trojans. Troy, the board is still yours.
How about colleges for 600?
Let's keep rolling through colleges. The second Steelers quarterback drafted in 2022, Chris Oladokun, played at this FCS college. Dave Bryan.
What is South Dakota State?
That is correct. South Dakota State, and never played it down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dave, the board is back to you.
Is Potpourri for 600 still available?
It is. Potpourri for 600. Mike Tomlin's first collegiate job came here. Where did Mike Tomlin first start his college career? Dave Bryan.
What is Arkansas State?
Incorrect. David O.
VMI.
Correct. Virginia Military Institute, Arkansas State, a little bit later in his career. So, David O., the board is yours.
Let's try colleges for 1,000.
Colleges all the way to 1,000. Hall of Famer Rod Woodson started this school before becoming the 10th overall pick of the 87 draft. Dave Bryan.
What is Purdue, Alex?
Correct. What is Purdue? Rod Woodson, one of the greatest athletes in Purdue and Pittsburgh Steelers history. Dave Bryan, the board is yours.
What's left in colleges?
800.
Let's close out colleges for 800, please, Alex.
To finish things out, one of the most successful 7th-round picks in team history, Brett Kiesel, went here. Troy?
BYU.
Correct. BYU. I feel like we have a pretty tight race so far. So, Troy, you are in control of the board.
Do we have records for 800?
We do. We have records for 800. The question is, combined points in the highest scoring game in Steelers history, which came against the Chargers in 1985. Looking for the number of combined points by both teams in that game. Against the San Diego Chargers in 85. It was a high-scoring affair. Any guesses? This is certainly a tough one as well. 5, 4, 3, 2. The answer, 98. 54 to 44 in that one. So that is the record for highest scoring game in Steelers history. No answer there. Troy, you remain in control of the board.
Do records for 1,000.
Records for 1,000. Most amount of points Pittsburgh has scored in a single game. So sticking with the points theme, David O.
63.
That is correct. 63 against
Giants.
the New York Giants in 52, I believe. So long time coming. See if Pittsburgh can get there in 2025. David O., the board is yours.
Is there records for 400? Is that the last one in that?
The 600 is the last one in records, I
We'll
believe.
take records for 600. We'll close that category out.
Records for 600. Juju Smith-Schuster has 2 of the team's longest receiving touchdowns of this distance. Dave Bryan.
What is 97 yards, Alex?
97 yards is correct against Detroit and Denver. Dave, you have control of the board.
Let's see. We closed out records. We closed out Potpourri. What's left? Colleges, what?
We closed out colleges and records. We have Potpourri for 200, 400, and most of history left.
Let's go Potpourri for 400, please, Alex.
Potpourri for 400. This Titans kicker seemingly faked a penalty in Tennessee's 0-2 divisional win over Pittsburgh. Dave Bryan?
Who is Joe Nedney, Alex?
That dirty Joe Nedney faking that kick and allowed him to make the re-kick, and Tennessee won in overtime. Dave Bryan, the board is yours.
What's left in Potpourri? 200?
Correct. You want that one?
All right, yes.
Potpourri for 200. Kevin Colbert worked for this organization before being hired by Pittsburgh in 2000. Dave Bryan.
What are the Detroit Lions, Alex?
That is correct. The Detroit Lions, and then hired and came back home to Pittsburgh. Colbert, a Pittsburgh native himself. Dave Bryan, the board is yours.
I think we closed out everything except for history, right?
History, everything is available except for 200. So we have 400 to 1,000 still left.
Let's go history for 400, Alex.
History for 400. Art Rooney Sr., the Chief, bought the Steelers for this amount of money in a deal finalized in July 1933. So how much did Art Rooney pay for Pittsburgh? David O?
$2,500.
$2,500. No small sum in the Depression era. That's how much it cost to buy a franchise back then. Good investment, I would say. David O, the board is yours.
Let's go for 600.
For history?
History, yep.
History for 600. This Steelers' first ever draft pick shares his name with a famous playwright. David O?
William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare, out of Notre Dame. The playwright, a little more successful than the Steelers draft pick, who never played it down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. David O?
I don't have much choice. We'll go history for 800.
That's one of the 2 categories left. History for 800. Pittsburgh recorded its first ever overtime tie against this AFC team in 1974. The first overtime tie in Steelers history. This AFC team. It was a high-scoring game. Any guesses? 5, 4. Oh, Troy wants to give it a shot. Troy?
The Miami Dolphins.
Incorrect. Not the Miami Dolphins. Dave, you want to give it a shot?
Who are the Denver Broncos, Alex?
That is correct. The Denver Broncos, 35-35, an overtime tie that season. Dave, there is one category left. You want history for 1,000?
Yes, let's go for it. Oh.
No, you're good. Well, we're all going to answer it here. We only have one choice left. So history for 1,000. 3 Steelers have been drafted number 1 overall. Terry Bradshaw, Bill Dudley, and this selection. Everyone knows Bradshaw number 1. Some know Bill Dudley. Does David O know the third? Go ahead.
Yeah, this was a horrible pick. It was Gary Glick.
It was Gary Glick out of Colorado A&M, which I believe is now known as Colorado State. Sight unseen, they drafted him from recommendation of the coach. He ended up being an okay player, but the bonus pick that year in 1956 probably should have been somebody other than Gary Glick. So good answer there, David O. We'll take a commercial break, come back, recap the scores, and play Final Jeopardy. And welcome back to Steelers Depot Jeopardy. I am your host, Alex Kazora. Joining me are some great guests in Troy Montgomery, David O, and Dave Bryan getting ready for Final Jeopardy. But before we do that, let's recap the scores. In the lead with that $1,000 question in the last category of Steelers history is David O at $4,800. Dave Bryan still in this race at $3,200, and Troy Montgomery at $800. So get ready for Final Jeopardy. I'm going to stop the share of the screen for just one moment and pull up the final answer where they will make their wagers, and then we will see who comes out on top. All right, here is your final Steelers Jeopardy question. In a number of games, the Steelers' longest regular season winning streak in team history. This is a number, and I do want to make it clear, while it may not necessarily include this, this can be over multiple seasons. This is not necessarily the single season lone year win streak. It's just the longest winning streak across any number of seasons. So you're going to write down your answer with your wager, and we'll see who comes out on top. I'll give you guys about 20 seconds more to write down the number of games that is the longest Steelers regular season winning streak in team history. We'll see if these guys can get it right. Nobody got this Final Jeopardy answer correct last episode. Can somebody do it this time? So 5, 4, 3, 2. And we're going to start off with Dave Bryan. I'm going to repeat the question one more time. A number of games, the Steelers' longest regular season winning streak in team history. And his answer is 3,216 games. That is correct. The answer is 16. And so Dave wagered all of his money. He was very confident in that answer, and he will be at 6,400. So we'll go to our other leader here, David O. What was your answer, David O? He holds it up. He had 15. And what was your wager on that? His wager was... Is it 0? 0?
0.
There you go. All right. He had 0. That is incorrect. So he will hold at 4,800, but fall into second place. And then Troy, what was your answer on this team's winning streak?
Well, I didn't have much of a chance, so I bet all my money just to have some more pride, but I guess 19, and I bet all my points, so I guess I'm down to 0.
Troy, you are down to 0. That is incorrect. It was 16. It was the end of the 04 season. They won the last 14 of that year in Big Ben's rookie year. Then they won the first 2 games of the 2005 season. So it was 16, which means the final scores are Dave Bryan 6,400, David O 4,800, and then Troy at 0. So Dave Bryan, our winner of the second episode of Steelers Depot Jeopardy. Dave, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll have our third episode sometime later this week. Thank you to all of our contestants. Appreciate it very much, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Another edition of Steelers Depot Jeopardy.